This app has all the features and UI patterns you would expect from a modern application. We can toggle between the dark and light modes. We can search for games, filter them by genre as well as platform. Now, as we change filters, the page title gets updated dynamically. We can also sort games, and here we see loading skeletons while games are being fetched from the backend. And that's just the start. In the next part, which I'm currently working on, we'll dive into advanced topics like routing, state management, fetching data with React Query, authentication, error handling, performance optimization, and much more. I've put my heart and soul into creating this course, and I'm confident that it's going to be a game changer for your React skills. I'm Mosh Hamedani. I'm a software engineer with over 20 years of experience, and I've taught millions of people how to code and become professional software engineers through my YouTube channel and online school, codewithmosh.com. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe as I upload new videos all the time. So if you're ready to master React and build front-end apps with confidence, let's jump in and get started. Before we get started, let's talk about what you will need to know to take this course. First things first, you don't need to know React to take this course. However, you should have a good understanding of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you're comfortable writing code in these languages, you're in a great position to start learning React. Now, throughout the course, we'll be using TypeScript. TypeScript is a superset of JavaScript that adds static typing to the language. Essentially, it helps us catch errors earlier in the development process, which can save us time and headaches down the road. Now, don't worry if you have never coded in TypeScript before. I will hold your hands and teach you everything from scratch. With that out of the way, we can dive right into learning React. Before we begin coding, let's take a few minutes and discuss what React is and how it helps us create better applications. React is a JavaScript library for building dynamic and interactive user interfaces. It was created at Facebook in 2011 and is currently the most widely used JavaScript library for front-end development. So if you're looking for a job as a front-end developer, you should know how to confidently build applications with React. But why was React created? Well, as you probably know, when a web page is loaded in a browser, the browser takes the HTML code and creates a tree-like structure called the Document Object Model, or the DOM for short. This allows us to use JavaScript and change the page content in response to user actions. For example, we can use JavaScript to hide an element when a button is clicked. This is called vanilla JavaScript, meaning plain JavaScript code without any third-party tools. Now, as our applications grow, working with the DOM can become quite complex and challenging to manage. This is where React comes into play. With React, we no longer need to worry about querying and updating DOM elements. Instead, we describe a web page using small, reusable components, and React will take care of efficiently creating and updating DOM elements. So components help us write reusable, modular, and better organized code. Now let's look at a real-world example. Imagine you want to build a web page like this. On this page, we have a navigation bar on the top, a side panel on the left, and a grid of video games in the main area. We can build each of these sections as separate components. Now, in this grid, each game is displayed in a cart, which is an independent component with a like button. That's another component itself. We can build all these components individually and then combine them to build this page. Essentially, a React application is a tree of components with the app being the root, bringing everything together. All right, that's enough theory for now. Next, we're going to set up our development environment and get a feel for what it's like to build applications with React. All right, to take this course, you need to have Node version 16 or higher. Now, to check the version of Node on your machine, open up your command prompt or terminal window and run node-v. So on this machine, I'm running Node version 19. You might be running a newer version. That's totally fine. It's not going to impact the materials in this course. but you need to have Node version 16 or higher. If you don't, head over to nodejs.org and download the latest version on this page. Now, in this course, just like my other courses, I'll be using Visual Studio Code or VS Code as my editor. You're welcome to use any editor that you prefer, but if you want to use VS Code, I strongly suggest you to use the Prettier extension for formatting your code. So here's the extensions panel. Over here, search for Prettier and install this extension. Once you do that, on the top, under the code menu, go to Preferences and Settings. Now, this layout might be different on Windows or Linux. I'm not entirely sure, but find the Settings dialog. And on this page, search for Format on Save. If you tick this box, every time you save a file, that file gets automatically reformatted. With all that, now we're ready to create our first React application. There are two ways to create a React app. We can use the official tool provided by the React team. It's called Create React App or CRA. But we also have another tool called Vite that's getting increasingly popular these days because it's much faster and gives us smaller bundle sizes. So here in the terminal window, I'm currently on my desktop. To create a new app using Vite, all you have to do is run npm create vite at latest, or if you want to use the exact same version as me, which is what I recommend you because I want to make sure you have the exact same experience, then you need to specify the version that is 4.1.0. Okay, now npm is asking if you want to install this package. Let's proceed. Next, we need to specify our project name, which is Vite-project by default, but we can change that to anything like React app. Next, we need to select a framework. So using Vite, we can create any kind of JavaScript project. We can use vanilla JavaScript, which is JavaScript without any third-party tools. We can also create a Vue project, a React project, and so on. So using up and down arrows, we can move down this list. Let's select React. Next, we need to select a language. So here we have JavaScript and TypeScript. We're going to use TypeScript in this course. Good. So now we have a new project. Next, we need to go into this folder, install all the third-party dependencies, and run our web server. So let's cd into the React app folder and type npm install or npm I, that is shorter. And with this, we can install all the third-party libraries. All right, now we need to open this project in VS Code. To do that, we type code period. If this doesn't work on your machine, simply drag and drop that folder into VS Code. Now here in VS Code, we can open an embedded terminal by pressing Control and backtick. If this doesn't work on your machine, just go to the terminal window and open a new terminal. You can also see the shortcut right here. So this is our embedded terminal. It's much easier to use this than switch back and forth between VS Code and a different terminal window. Now to run our web server, we type npm run dev. Now this launched a web server at this address, localhost port 5173. This might be different on your machine, so don't worry about that. Just open this address in your
This piece now, we need to piece to this can that. This can We can have this stuff right now. There it is. Public. Theory, public. Theory, public. Yes. We have theory, ownership. That is students and we have to make it research public. So just open up transition. Accession. Windows can be next to one again. No CMD. That have poster. User delivery. Serial one device. Serial just computer. Well, this yeah. As a link taken here. So something it was create a folder. Folder. And now actually I can create folder that I have. It's yeah.
Your browser, terminal, from we period, new add. Next, we need to specify our project name, which is Vite.
NPM very sweet.
Project by default. Let's print one. Is what I recommend you create the terminal window. Increasingly popular. It's called a. If you take the menu and you have Node version 19, you might be running a newer version. That's totally
Version 10.979 NPM. We need to install a new version. NPM 9.
fine and run node.s.org and download the latest version on this.
Second,
फैमिली देखती है वरना मैं ऐसे ऐसे गाली दूं ऐसे 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 गाली दूंगा जिंदगी भर याद रखेंगे मैं गाली
some of the typical install Python and Visual Studio building tools necessary to complete Visual Studio 122. Chocolate require Windows. This will require about 3 GB of free disk space plus any space necessary to install Windows update. Okay, disk provides free. Hmm? Really? Always तेरा now ये अदाएं मैं listen to you. We did the girl. She suddenly disappears. Is it over yet? Oh my god. Terus lebihnya ikat lah kau lalunya. Okay guys, we have to, leave video mind. So we will go right now. Oh fuck, I go again. Wow, कितना ज़्यादा हो गया है
महिला बोल रहा मैं मेरा किल कोई चुराएगा नहीं छोड़ो अरे वो छोड़ो छोड़ मेरा किल चुराया ना तेरा मैं
अरे जानू उसके थोड़ी चेतना चुड़ाता हूँ मैं हो जाता है वो हाँ आएगा बोला मैसेज किया वो, बाद में आएगा बोल
Page. Now in this course, just like my other courses, I'll be using Visual Studio Code or